love and happiness. Yeah, something that can make you do wrong, make you do right. Yeah, love. Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Tocombamaria.
How she can make it right.
And I am here with my co-host, the lovely, the incredible, the incomparable. Sir, introduce
So kind.
yourself.
Tyrone. I'm just Tyrone
You just
today.
Tyrone today?
Yeah, because, you have such a sophisticated show. I'm coming with I got my grown-up shirt.
You do.
And
You
my-
have your grown-up, yes.
They
You have
can't see it.
buttons.
Yeah, I got my grown-up pants on. They can't see
They
it.
can't see your grown-up. He does have on pants.
Yes.
And they're grown up, yes.
What's going on? Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. How was let's see, we're at Tuesday. How was your weekend?
It was okay.
Just okay.
I went to a white bar out in Broadview Heights.
Okay.
Had to go meet some people.
And how was that?
This white lady came up to me, right?
White bar.
And she's telling me the story. And she's like, I don't know her. She's like, yeah, I was in the store and I had $1. And then I saw this kid, African-American kid. And I decided to give it to him. And he had those little, those twists, those locks. Oh, I love those. I'm like, all right, you on the line. Where are we going with this?
Right,
What's
right.
next? But she ended up being nice. But
She ended up being nice.
white folks it'd be passive. Like, how about that shack? I'm like, I don't know.
Right, the assumptions.
Just
and
naming black people for me.
Of course,
But
that's all right.
But that was how was your week?
My weekend was good. I didn't do too much of anything. But it was a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Good weekend. Good start to the week.
Yes.
Yeah, today being the highlight of my week.
Yes.
So far,
Yeah, you a show host now, and this is
A
episode
show
2.
host, yes, I'm excited. I'm excited. Yes. So hopefully, I will get better and better each episode, and
Yeah, you're starting off pretty
looking forward
good,
to it.
so
Thank you.
yeah, I can't wait to
Thank
see
you.
where this goes.
it's going to go far.
Far.
Yes, far. Yes, it certainly is. But today we are talking about relationships.
Man,
Yeah, that's a loaded subject, right?
it is.
That's kind of heavy.
It's crazy. Everybody feels like it's personal when it happens to them, but it happens to everybody.
Yeah, it does. It does. And of course, we know there's all kinds of relationships, obviously. We are going to be talking about male-female relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships.
Yes.
Right? So let's just get into it.
Okay.
Let's get into it. So I want to ask you this. This is like an ongoing poll that I have.
Okay.
Do you personally feel like men and women can be platonic friends?
Oh, that is a tough one. Chris Rock got the joke. He said, men don't have female friends. We have women we haven't slept with yet.
Right.
But
right.
for me personally, I need some context. Like if I'm in the context of she's a colleague and a friend, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or I don't know. It has to be like some other thing. If it's just me and you hanging out or whatever, eventually I'm gonna shoot my shot. Like fine is fine. And like, I wonder if she might. I don't know.
So if you have a context, then that draws the line for you. That's the sort of invisible boundary that you may not cross over.
Yeah, like
if
if-
you can put it, this is a colleague, this is a whatever.
Yeah, like if we're doing something where we're getting money together and the stakes are higher than just our mutual enjoyment,
Right,
then
right.
I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna mess it up because I don't know if I'm
wanna
gonna mess
mess
it
up
up.
my money.
right. I might mess up everything. I don't want to do that. But I don't know. I think if it's without the context, I don't know if it could be long term
Okay.
on the guy-female friend side.
Right,
What about
right.
you? What do you think?
I used to say that I felt like unequivocally, yes, they can be friends with nothing else going on. That was about 20 years ago. No, but I do still think that men and women can be friends. But the tricky part comes in so you choose your friends and your mate because there's something that draws you in.
Yeah.
So that's a little, that's a little iffy. If you're choosing a friend, there are already things you like about this person. And men and women, when we're talking about the heterosexual view of things, well, they're designed to be attracted to one another for purposes of procreation, if nothing else. So when you just take the sort of animal instinct of it, that does make it a little bit difficult. It can sort of, muddy up the waters a bit. So it's tricky. I think it's a little bit more difficult than I used to think.
Yeah,
it was sort of clear cut.
Oh, and I'll say another time. If they're both ugly, maybe that could work.
See,
Like,
if they're both ugly.
yeah, because like guys like nice stuff, man, and it's like if you're my female friend, it might be I don't know, a little back massage. Or how was your day? I really want to hear your. You'd be like, man, I think she likes me.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like having a male or female friend is almost like putting a relationship in layaway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you've got this person that you're cool with. You like them for all intents and purposes. Obviously y'all are friends, so you're cool. But if something, falls through, say you have something else going on and that falls through, well, then you got this other little thing you can go and, let's see how that goes.
So is that
fills in the gaps a little bit sometimes.
Is that dishonest?
I don't think it's dishonest. Well, I don't know.
Well, let me say, I had a really good female friend, right? And been friends for years, and maybe some little flirtations here and there,
Maybe.
but nothing. What definitely was, but nothing leading any place. It's just fun flirting.
Yeah.
So I had ended up getting with one of her close friends.
Okay.
Because, you ain't gonna give me none. We friends,
Y'all
right?
are just friends.
Yeah.
So
Got with one of her close friends, and then she made the comment like, "Dag, how she gonna make my plan B her plan A?"
Oh,
And I'm
she
like-
called you a plan B?
And I'm like, look, I am nobody's plan B.
Ooh.
Gonna turn me into penis pending. I'm not.
Penis pending. Penis loading.
Right, it's just buffering right now. Yeah, but
The buffering boyfriend.
I think some women, like I said, keep a ram in the bush just in case. But
I think everybody does. This chair is squeaking like the other things are happening. So
no, right? They can see us. Look, my hands are right here, y'all. I promise.
But no, really, everybody
we're
keeps a
friends,
ram in.
too.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody keeps a ram in the bush, though. But some friends you think you might get with, I think, and some you're like, nah.
Yeah.
You instantly friend zone, or that this is just going to be my friend.
Yeah.
This is not going to be anything else for various and sundry reasons. Even if it's just that you don't want to mess up the friendship.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of messing up the friendship, is that a thing? Do you sometimes I feel like people use that when they really don't want to get with you, right?
Yeah.
But they say, "Oh, I don't want to mess up this friendship. We have such a good thing."
Girl, I've known you a week. What are we messing up?
Right. What are we messing up? Yeah, I've always felt like that was one of those sort of brush off things, like, I
Yeah,
don't
slick
know.
little.
Yeah, just a little something you throw in there to say, like, if you don't want to get with me, then that's what that is. And
Yeah.
you just say that. Yeah, so we got penis loading.
Penis loading, right? Yeah, because usually I try to go penis first. I don't think I try to friend zone a woman. Like even if I'm like, if I'm like, hey, I like you, you're a good person, but I got this thing over here in case you want it. You just let me.
God.
You just let me know whenever you want it.
See, but it really is a complicated thing. It is. I think what's cool about the male-female relationship at first is that you feel like it's uncomplicated. So you can have all the good feelings without all the weighty stuff.
Yeah.
Your conversations are easy, they're light. You're not talking about paying bills or who's going to watch the children, or you're not complaining about things because you are dealing with each other on a different level.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so now you've crossed the line and now you guys are in a relationship. So let's talk about romantic relationships.
Okay.
Male and female romantic relationships.
I've been in every heterosexual relationship.
I was going to say every type.
Every type, man. Look, been husband, boyfriend, side dude, swinger.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
All
So
right.
let's get into it.
Well, yeah, I feel like you need to start talking about it.
I want to hear what you got to say.
All right, so let me just give a little background. So I am a female person who has mostly male friends. I'm kind of the girl who just, I don't know, I get along with everyone, but I just find men easier to get along with, which really stems from, I will say, high school years. Real unfortunate high school years where I didn't have a good experience with the females, with particularly the African American females that I went to school with. And so that left me with a really strong distaste, or maybe not even distaste, just not quite knowing how to cultivate female relationships.
How do I be accepted?
Exactly, because there's always something extra that comes. It's almost like women can't just be friends with one another for the sake of being friends. There's always this extra thing, this underlying unsaid, competition or judgment, and men aren't judging women. Well, I'm sure you guys are judging, but I don't, when I'm entering into a relationship with a man, a friendship, I don't feel like there's no competition.
No.
He's not trying to compete with me about anything. Now, he might be trying to get in my draws, but
Right.
but honestly, so it was just easier. It's easier to be friends with men because they kind of accept you for who you are. It just, you are what you are, and they're not judging you for, for who that is.
Let me ask you this though. Do you think it is the attraction, the potential that it might go further, that I don't want to say makes them behave,
No.
but makes them less, competitive. You know what I mean?
That's fair to say.
Like guys, I don't know,
Yeah.
guys before getting their goal, I'll say, are very well behaved. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's like you on your
Very
best
true.
behavior, like, oh, it might be today. No.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I don't care about the money. I love you. I'll see you
Right.
tomorrow.
Right. Well, we all know we have representatives, right, that go out before us and,
Yeah.
sort of scout out the territory, and they stake the claim, and they're there for a few months, and then they disappear, and the actual person comes on board. So, and that can happen in friendships too.
Yeah.
People sort of get comfortable and let their guard down and let everything hang out, and then they are who they are. But I don't know, I just find, and I do love women as friends. I'm not super judgmental of women. It just has been not a great experience. So anyway,
Now, look, call in too if y'all got any insight on why women are so competitive with each other. I don't know. It's been going for years.
It's
I've known about it, but I don't know why it happens.
Well, and I don't know how it is for men. I don't know what kind of competition you guys might have amongst one another. Is it just, you guys are,
Okay.
are you measuring, I don't know.
No,
I don't know what you guys
so,
do.
So my take on that, right? It's emotion versus ego. Like we both have both, but women are born in emotion town,
Absolutely.
and guys, we learn it, but it's not what we speak.
Right.
And men are born in ego town. So ego is based in competition. You know what I'm saying? We're always competing in sports or jobs or whatever. So it's okay. But I think women dealing with, just like how guys can't deal with emotions well, women dealing with ego, they can't really be competitive without trying to kill each other. It's not like a friendly sport. It's just
No,
like,
it's not.
"Rah!
Yeah, it's not a friendly sport.
I will
And-
destroy her.
And when you're trying to be when you're looking for a suitable mate, and your friend, it might potentially be competition, even though we shouldn't look at it like that, because for any one person, everybody's not going to like that one person.
Right.
Because everybody's got different tastes. And so if you were to look at the same sex as, she can be as beautiful as she wants to be, she can be as, whatever, her butt can be as big as she wants it to be, her breast, hair is long, that's great, because there's room for both of us at the table. There's room for all of us, because somebody is going to like her, somebody's going to like me, So if we just look at it a little bit differently, then,
Oh, and to be fair,
Yeah.
guys will get goofy when the woman starts encroaching into man areas. So, like, say your woman makes more money than you.
Yes,
it gets a
definitely.
little funny for guys sometimes.
it does.
You know what I mean?
It absolutely does.
I guess if your woman could fight better, like, why you ain't let me do it? Baby, I got it. I karate kicked him, But I think that's where guys get weird in that ego, like their ego gets out of whack.
Right. Yeah, it can. It can. So now we've got male, female relationships. You guys are not just friends, but you are romantic partners.
Yes.
So now, the age I am now, when I look into relationships, or when I'm looking and thinking about relationships, it's a whole lot different than it was for me 10, 15, 20 years ago. Like it's what I'm looking for is different. What I will accept is different. It's just a completely different situation.
Facts.
And probably because I've lived, I've lived some life. I've experienced some things. I've also been married. I also have children. So I'm not looking for that same sort of traditional reason for being in a relationship. You know, I'm not trying to procreate. I'm not trying to have, you know, the white picket fence necessarily. For me at this juncture, it's about companionship. But you can get companionship from a cat, a dog, you know, a friend. Companionship and physical intimacy is, you know, I think those are sort of the crux of being in a relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, companionship in and of itself can come from many different places. But the only reason you'd be with an opposite sex partner, if you are heterosexual, would be for the romance of it, I think.
Hey, why are we not taking advantage of this? I got these pieces. We got to put this together.
Pieces and parts. It's a puzzle.
Put it together.
See how that fits.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what about you? What are, like, this point in your life, where are you in terms of how you view relationships versus how maybe you used to?
Yeah. Okay. So I started off very TV nice.
TV. What's TV nice?
Man, we got a call.
Caller.
It's the Blue Mouse, Moan. On the side TV, there you go.
Hello, caller. Hello. Caller,
Hello?
are you there?
Hey, what's happening? This is the Honorable Junebug Muhammad. I wanted to weigh in
Yeah.
about some relationship.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Yeah,
What's up, brother?
So first, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Doing
man?
good, man.
So I just wanted to say, you know, that you're right. You can get a companionship from anybody, you know, and you know what? And that's so true because some of the project girls got companionship with some of the roaches, and it's ridiculous.
You know,
And
really?
I'm just telling you that you are a very true speaker, and I love it.
Thank
This
you.
is from the Honorable Junebug Muhammad. Keep it up, Mom.
Thank you so much. I
Have a good
appreciate you. Take care.
All right.
All right. All right. Thank you for the call in. So, men and women, you know, we're in relationship and companionship and physical intimacy.
Yeah.
Is that important for you?
Oh yes, always has been. I was saying, like, starting off, I was just real nice, just flowers and poetry and, you know, and candles and all this stuff, man. And wasn't getting the results I wanted. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I was getting more or less, I was taken advantage of, you know, just too nice. But now, those things are still important to me. I still want the same goals, but I just go about it differently. So if it's a woman that likes me, I'm way more nicer than a woman I'm pursuing. If I'm pursuing a woman,
Yeah.
I'm presenting as a bad idea because I want her to like me. You know,
Okay.
not a guy to fill a spot that she has in mind.
Okay.
I'd be like, baby, I'm drinks, drugs, jokes, and dick. You know, we can
Wow.
we can
All
have.
right, just put it out
Let's
there.
put it out there. It's fun though. You know, and it might could grow. I'm not saying it's not the option, but
Yeah.
I don't want to oversell like I might have did when I was younger now, because I want to get what I want and not just. And the guys are, I don't know, kind of considered disposable. I think. Well,
No.
not disposable, but like. I got these set job requirement, insert guy here. It's not about you, John, specifically. It's about.
No, I kind of disagree. I disagree with that. I think that women, yes, certainly we have our laundry list of things that we want. You know, don't act like that. You got to have your list, all right? You have to be specific. You have to state your you know, what you want. But really it's about, because how oftentimes does a woman have a list of what she wants and the dude she's with is none of those things. Absolutely none of those things on that list, because there's some other things about him, you know, some of the bad stuff probably, but no, there's some other things about him that fill in the pieces. So I don't think that we don't really look at men, in my opinion, we don't look at men as disposable because there's so few qualified men out there. So you can't just, you know, it's not like, oh, chuck this one, next one, because you don't know when the next one's coming.
And not disposable, maybe I mean interchangeable, but I guess guys do that with women too, like, if I'm gonna be fair.
Now that's what I think. I think women are much more disposable or interchangeable, if you will, for men than men are for women. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I think that's sometimes why women will do some ridiculous things, just sort of put themselves out, because they know that what she won't do, the next one will.
Right.
And women are doing some really interesting things out here that, you know, to get a man, keep a man, take your man, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And so women feel like sometimes sometimes women lower their standards. Sometimes women, they do some things that they might not otherwise do or didn't think that they would find themselves in such a position to keep a man. But when we find ourselves, and particularly if you're a black woman, I can only speak from the experience of a black woman because I've never been any other sort of woman. But for a black woman who is, intrinsically attracted to black men, then, and if that's what you're looking for, that's what you want, we know the supply is, supply and demand is rough out there.
Jail, cops,
it's rough.
Black on black crime.
Yes, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. And
limited.
it is very limited. It's very limited. And it's sort of, it's a shame that women are in the position that we're in, finding ourselves just sort of flailing out there, and it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Women, I can't talk, women to one man. And
Yeah.
it's like, what do we do? What are we supposed to do, Tyrone?
Yeah, you said
What
it.
are we supposed to
You
do?
said it. Finding
What I'm gonna
ourselves.
do?
Look, finding ourselves.
Yes,
and I
finding
think that's where it is to like not lower your standards, because that's junky behavior. Like this is
that's true.
this is terrible for me, but I don't know if I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna do what I can.
I need a man.
Oh,
Yes. And
Testosterone hits and shit.
Exactly. But I will have to say that over the years, and I'm sorry,
No, you good.
over the years, it's come to a point where, again, I told you I look at relationships differently, right? In terms of what I want from a relationship, what I want from a man, what I will put up with even. There was a point in time when I would put up with some trash, just some horrible behavior, just some ridiculous things for the sake of sticking to what I said. For example, when I'm married, I'm never going to get a divorce. So putting up with everything and then some just to stick to that ideal I had when I was, a child and thought everything was rosy and everything was good. And then growing up and saying, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
Who wants to, you never get married with the intention of getting a divorce.
Of course not.
But if you find yourself there, then you find yourself there, and it's not something you should beat yourself up about. Neither should you sort of lower who you are, accept any kind of behavior from somebody just for the sake of saying you have a husband. Or even a wife, vice versa, because that's unacceptable.
I got married.
Mistreated.
Look, I got married when I was 19, and I was, this is gonna be for forever, and it was for 4 months, and we was gone. We was gone.
Yeah, and you at this age now, I have been, I don't know, about 5, 6 iterations of Tocombamaria. Like you grow and you change so much that what you wanted when you were 19. For me, I was that 23? I think 22. I don't know.
Yeah.
22, and it was like that's not who I was even 5 years later, 10 years later. So you change,
You develop,
grow,
yeah.
you develop as a human being, as a person. And so now, as I'm looking at things, and I have a sort of a low tolerance for BS at this stage of the game. I don't know, maybe it's because I've put up with so much of it, like on the front end, that now I'm like, no, I'm not tolerating that. But I feel like there are options out there. For as much as we say, the pool is limited. Yes, it's limited, but with all the people in the world, if you just look at it that way, then there are lots of men to choose from. And I tell people all the time who talk to me about they're in the beginnings of a relationship and it's rocky and they're fussing and they're fighting and they're going through all these changes and they've only been together for a few months. And so then I have to ask, well, are you sure you want to be bothered?
This the time to go.
This is the honeymoon phase. Like if y'all can't get along right now when you don't really have anything invested, why on earth would you continue going with the hopes that it'll work out, that she'll iron out your wrinkles? And I don't know, maybe I'm looking at that wrong, but I feel like if you can't deal well in the beginning, how do you expect it to turn around for the better in the end?
Yeah,
to me, that just doesn't make sense.
I'm with you, and I think if you're on the same page, if you guys can communicate and it can work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there might be some hiccups in the beginning. Like I didn't think you were like this.
Yeah, it could be hiccups, but I'm talking about people who have full on. They just don't get along. Then why are you still there?
The sex. It's got to be just sex.
I mean, come on.
It's so
There's
good.
sex everywhere.
Not like this, baby. Let me tell you. He can say what he wants to me.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. That's one of those things for me that if it's not working out in the beginning, and maybe I just don't give things enough of a chance anymore because I've spent so much time, putting effort into things that now it's like, look, I probably have more years behind me than I had ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I don't have time to play around.
I
Like
hear
I
you.
don't have that kind of time.
But that's maturity. Younger girls, they'd be a red flag. Like, ooh, what was that?
Hitting you all upside the head.
I ain't
right?
seen no red flags. What?
That's true though. Really.
We'll ignore some stuff to
Yeah.
not sleep alone or whatever.
That's true. And not to say that I haven't ignored some things, even in my low tolerance level, I have ignored some things. And I think at this point when I ignore things, I'm thinking, am I just being too picky? Am I just nitpicking? Is it just me? But then if that thing keeps sort of eating at me and it's just really bothersome, and if I've talked to you about it and it's still not changing, then I got to go.
No, I understand.
I have to peace out.
You got to, man.
Yeah. For peace of mind,
It's-
if nothing else.
Yeah, and it's tough, man. I always end up in this spot where I'm like, I know the relationship's over, but I haven't had a good enough reason to break up with them. I'm like, you're going to be nice today. Come on, man. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up.
Good enough and that's okay. So let's talk about it. Stringing somebody along, because that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not my intention. It's really like, I don't want to hurt you. I mean, I know this is over,
Stringing along.
but it's like,
Stringing along.
oh,
Yeah.
I guess.
But why would you don't think it's more hurtful at the end of the thing for her to recognize that you have, like, you checked out a long time ago, really?
And then, I feel like she should recognize it. Like, he's not happy, but nope, come on in here and do this job. But okay, so I had an ex, and it was the end of our relationship. It was about to break up. I had my mind set. I was
It was
ready
about
to
to
go.
break
It was
up.
it was done. And like the same week, her father died. I'm like, damn it. How long do I gotta wait?
Wow. Oh, I mean, okay.
Because I'm still ready to go, but it's like.
But you don't want to leave her. You don't want to kick her while she's down.
Yeah, but they ain't know each other like that. So I'm like, if he can abandon her, look, if he can abandon her, so can I.
Oh my God.
I'm out.
Oh my God. Okay. No. So what did you do? How long did you wait?
I gave her a week. A week. But I checked in and I used my grief counseling, like how with your father, what's going on.
pulled your degree out on
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's business now,
Yeah, stringing along, that's a tough one because
Yeah.
at the end of it, when you look back and recognize that person checked out a while ago, then you sort of feel stupid. You kind of feel like, well, why don't you just leave then? Why would you keep baiting me along and keep feeding me lines or whatever when you really didn't even want to be here in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's tough though, man. Nobody wants to be considered a piece of shit, in the at the end of the relationship.
That's true, you don't. And yeah, you don't. You don't. But we all make mistakes, right?
Yeah. Like I
We are.
forgot the kindest thing I could do is give her a reason to hate me if I want to break up.
Now that I do not agree with that.
Yeah,
I think that's the worst thing ever.
Because otherwise she has to be accountable. Like for the girl whose father died, it probably would have been easier if I cheated. And that way she could have just demonized me and go on with her pride. Like, you know what? He was a piece of shit girl and she's fine.
But no, I think that's the easy way out. That's not cool.
I mean, it kind of is, but
Yeah, it kind of
But
is.
otherwise,
doesn't she deserve more than that?
if she's willing to face herself, like, you know what? These are the reasons I'm leaving. You need to do better with yourself, and a lot of, I don't want to say women, a lot of people can't take that. Like,
Yeah.
they want a reason, like, they left because they wasn't shit, or he had a dick, he cheated, like, they want reasons it's not their fault.
That's true. That's true. I think a few years ago, I went on this sort of, I don't know, journey of self-discovery, just sort of getting to know myself better. And I actually took the time to look at myself in relationships and the different parts that I had played, over the years.
Yeah.
Some things I admitted, that wasn't me. Like, that was not my fault whatsoever. And other things I was able to say, I don't know how he tolerated me for so long.
Right.
Like real talk. I don't know how he was able to deal with me.
Well, you is fine. Niggas are like, you know what?
But see, that's a whole other thing though. Like, that's not cool either.
Nah.
But I began to recognize that I was using relationships as a substitute of love for myself. Instead of loving myself, I was looking, to other people. And not that I was out here, there, and everywhere. But so as women, we often find ourselves, we're caregivers, caretakers, where we are the nurturing sex between male and female for the most part. And so we're usually giving of ourselves, whether you have children or not. That's just, you're usually giving of yourself, whether it's to your children, to other people, relatives, whatever. And lots of times we're not getting fed back what we're giving out.
Right.
And I found that sort of to be the case for me. And I found it a lot easier to focus on the other people in my life as opposed to myself. Instead of saying, girl, you are like your attitude is foul.
Yeah.
You need to, sit down somewhere and gather yourself and deal with yourself. It was easier just to, I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing that.
Yeah.
And, well, I have an attitude because I just have so much to do and so many people depend on me and blah, 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 blah. And
you need to be working on your own shit.
Exactly. But that's tough to do, to turn inward and say, look at sit down somewhere. Like, you don't really need a man right now. What you need to do is sit down and take inventory of what's going on with you and for you and by you, all that good stuff. But I used to actually get offended when people would say, well, maybe you don't need to be in a relationship right now. Like, I'd get ready to cuss somebody
Excuse me.
Right? Like, who are you? Just because you don't have a man, who are you?
You don't know
me?
my life. Oh my gosh.
Right. You don't know me. But honestly, outright offended, probably well into my 30s, I think. And then I really started taking a look and saying, all right, Comb, like you are tripping. You need to look at yourself, look at the part that you play. And I realized that I was being super needy. I was just I think I would project the things I was feeling onto the person that I was dealing with. And all my insecurities, and not to say that, these different people weren't ever wrong or they hadn't ever done anything and I was just putting things on them. That's not the case, but I definitely was adding, some salt I was just adding, adding some yeast to the mix.
That's big that you even could look at that, like for people to just say like, you know what, I have responsibility in this problem. This was my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And maybe if you had to go make amends to somebody, that's big.
Speaking of making amends, this was probably the beginning of COVID. We're sort of Ohio and everywhere else is under quarantine. And I'm thinking about a relationship that was sort of, we dated, we broke up, we dated again, and then sort of, vanished into thin air. And I was really thinking about this person like, wow. Now I wasn't going to call, but I was thinking about this person like, man, I really should apologize. Because you were something else. Like, girl, you really, you gave this man the blues. And not that he might not have been deserving sometimes, but you really gave this man the blues.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, he popped up. And he called and he's like, I didn't think you would take my call. Like, really? Because I'm thinking, pretty much the same thing about you. But I actually had the opportunity to apologize.
Yeah.
To apologize for the part that I played, in the relationship. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the only person, only relationship.
The only time it was my fault. It was only once. I've been perfect ever
what
since.
I'm saying is that's the only one I actually went to and apologized. But it felt so good to say, hey, look, like I'm being a grown A woman right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, I know that all of this stuff was not your fault, and you put up with some stuff that I won't put up with now. So I don't know how or why you did it. Thank you, but so that felt good. But I will say, last relationship, I didn't end that very, very well.
No?
No.
Did you ain't kill him, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him at all. Wonderful guy. Great, great guy. We just weren't meant to be with one another, I suppose. And I realized it kind of early on, but it seemed like it should have been a good fit. It seemed, as people like to say, on paper. Black folk love to say on paper.
On paper?
On paper. No, but really it looked like, it should be good. We could be good together, but we're at completely different places at that point. And I don't know, I dealt with it, and I dealt with some things, and I dealt with them, and I dealt with them. And I didn't do my usual, fussing.
Well, let me ask this.
Yeah,
was he actively messing up, or was he not meeting something that you needed?
I won't say he was messing up at all. I could qualify it as messing up because he wasn't meeting the needs that I had sort of made known. At least I thought that I had made them known. And I learned to sort of pare back my expectations, or maybe not my expectations, but my expectations, what I expected the man to give me.
Yeah.
Because now I recognize you can't give me everything. Like, I need to come to the table with me, not
Right.
have you complete me. I need to come as a whole human being, and two whole people get together, not two halves to make
Yeah.
a whole. So I wasn't asking a lot of him. I was asking for some time, which to me is acknowledging, the importance of my presence in your life. And I just wasn't getting it the way in a meaningful way to me.
Okay. Now, do you think you might have been being greedy? Like, was it? Okay, let me just give an example, and then I'll
Okay.
ask you. The ex, my most recent ex, was out of town, so I'm going there every two weeks out the month. You know what I'm saying? Flying down, and my style of love is whatever the job requires, right? So I'm
Okay.
going in there and like whatever. I'm down there. I done Googled how to fix a riding lawnmower. I'm a nigga that never cut grass before. You know what I'm saying? But for you, baby, you know what I
Right, I'ma
mean?
cut this grass.
Taking kids to school and
That aren't
buying
yours.
groceries, right? Buying groceries and fixing shit around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so for me, I'm going harder than I ever gone before. Not to mention the regular relationship stuff, the
Right.
protecting, providing, professing, all that. So she got to a place where she was like, "Well, what you're doing isn't enough for what I need," and I said, "Okay, I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. If this ain't enough, I can walk away." Clean conscience, you know what I mean? Then she called back like a week later. Well, you can win me back if you really try. Like I don't got no more to give.
I gave you all I had.
You told me this wasn't shit, so I'm gonna take this shit someplace who can appreciate it. Like, but I don't know. I feel like, to me, we were happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think love is ever a happily ever after.
Right.
I think it's happy is moment to moment, and it's really, can I have more happy moments with you than I can without you?
Right.
You know, and I'm like, I'm giving you happy moments all the time at my expense, which it shouldn't be about that, but I'm flying down here. I'm sacrificing from stuff I want to do for what we're building, what I believe in.
Right.
You know, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
Look, we just as single. So ain't nobody else doing the job. Like, who's, if there's a more qualified candidate, please.
Please step up.
Please.
Where's he at?
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like sometimes I don't want to bash women, but I think they make the wrong things important sometimes. I don't know if that's your story, but
I probably wouldn't phrase it like that.
Mm.
The wrong thing's important, because how can you say what somebody wants it's neither right nor wrong.
yeah.
It's what somebody wants. It's, it's their preference, or just what floats their boat.
Touche. I respect that.
What makes them happy. But I do understand what you're saying, in that sometimes we can get caught up in the minutia. So the things that you guys might see as little insignificant things, like, girl, I'm not cheating, I'm not seeing anybody else, so
Right.
why aren't you happy? And it's like, dude, because I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks, and you live 15 minutes away. Like, I haven't laid eyes on you, and we're just texting and talking.
I've been busy.
And it's like, well, that's not cool.
No, right.
Like, I need to, I took that little, what is it, the 5 love languages. I took the test to see what mine was. And mine was, my love language is quality time.
Okay.
That's the first one. Obviously it
Which you have two?
no, it puts them in order.
Yeah, no,
It puts
I
all
got
5.
mine too.
Oh, what's yours?
Oh, physical touch and words of affirmation.
Okay.
Make me come and tell me I'm handsome. Like,
Oh,
that's it.
That's it in a nutshell.
That's all
in a
I need.
nutshell. So quality time, I like time. Now I used to I could suck up somebody's time. Now I like my fair share of alone time. Like,
Yeah.
I really need some time to myself, but I also want time, with the person.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it just wasn't going to really, it was one of those things where if it's not meshing in the beginning, how can I expect the pieces of the puzzle to be, put together properly later on?
Yeah.
And maybe I could have, but I felt like I've given this like 7 months. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
It's time, man.
yeah, and sometimes the way we go about things may not necessarily, be right. But I feel like this is my thing. If I like to tell you things at the start. I sort of, maybe some are hints, maybe some are just along the way you learn that this is how I will react in a particular situation. And I felt like this individual was getting like the best iteration of me that there ever was. I wasn't doing all that fussing. I wasn't like I just wasn't being extra, because I can be extra. I'm sure you can't tell, but
I can see you behind there a little bit.
but I mean, in all fronts, you know, like, I mean, my hair is like orange, so I can be extra. But so I wasn't being all of that, like all of that negative extra. I wasn't trying to pick fights. I wasn't doing some of the things I had been known to do in my youth. And I was like, okay, well, let's just suck it in. You know, I'm experiencing things I'm not liking, and sometimes I voice displeasure, and sometimes I don't. But when I did voice it, I did it in a really mature way. At least I thought it was. I wasn't cussing, fussing, you know, just kind of like
nigga, you know,
right.
let me, I just want to say, you know, you gotta do one of those and pull it back.
See, I didn't even really have to do that. I just was kind of like, okay, we're going to let this happen. We're just going to be mature, adult, sort of more zen about this thing. And I didn't do all that fussing and cussing. And maybe I did it, you know, to my friends. I don't know, to my cousin, fussing to her about what I didn't like. But I felt like it was important not to dump that stuff on him.
Yeah.
I'd done that before, didn't have good results. And so when it came to the point at which I literally woke up one morning and was like, no, I just can't do this. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Let's see how this morning goes. And the morning went the way so many others had gone, and I was just pretty well done. And I wasn't really interested in...
Just done with it.
I was done. I tried to have a conversation. I wasn't really met with let's have a conversation, so I just cut it off.
Do you think that might be you or him? Because I'd say in the beginning, when I meet a woman, I tell her 90 days. Like, I just know me. Like, in day 89, I'd be in love. But around day 90, it just... I don't be on it no more. But at the 90-day mark, we could either renegotiate or stop. But I know me. Around the 3 months, I get a little funny acting, and I don't know where it's going to go. So, but I try to be honest in the front about that. And it's like, all right, cool. And then sometimes it goes further after the 90 days. But it's like just letting you know up front. I don't want no surprises if it do go away, if I do go away.
Yeah.
So
I think maybe I wasn't quite listening or accepting what he was saying about where he was at, or I don't know, maybe I felt like I was getting mixed messages about where he was at. But yeah, I just decided that this is not for me, and I probably should apologize for the way that I ended things, but I mean, I did what I did.
This is the great part about podcasts. You can apologize to everybody right now and don't have to see
I'm so sorry.
don't have to see nobody.
Really, no. Yeah, that it wasn't the way I ended it. Definitely was not right. But you know, again, great guy.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. You know, some other people know who he is, but great guy, and great guy for someone.
Man, so is there? I don't know. I think mine's bigger than ours. Gonna need to answer this, but how do you get?
My mind is large.
Oh, look. How do you get to love and happiness? How do we?
Okay. So all that being said, all the relationship that didn't go right, and obviously I'm single right now, single by choice, because you can always find somebody to be with somewhere. Oh, yeah. But it's more important that I love me, for one thing, and that was something that was new in the recent past, not extremely recent past, but just making sure that I loved me more than anybody else did. Because a lot of times, and I guess I can't speak for everybody, I can speak for me, but I know there are a whole host of people like me who look to other people to fill that void and to, I just want them to like me. I just want them to love me. And nobody should love you more than you love yourself. It's not anybody's responsibility or duty to love anyone else
right
more than you love yourself. And if you show yourself love and respect, then other people have no choice but to do the same. But if you disrespect yourself, well, heck, that's, carte blanche for anybody else to do the same. So loving yourself and being at a point where you are looking for, okay, so we know what we don't want. Right? Through life, we have gathered a list in our minds of the things that we don't like. I don't want somebody to treat me like this or like that or like the other thing. So consequently, you've developed a list of what you don't like that lets you know, that contrast lets you know what it is that you want. Mm-hmm. And so you have to focus on those things that you do want. Now, I have a little funny story about focusing on those things that you don't want.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna hear it.
So, all right. So hopefully this won't offend anybody out there, but I have a preference. I like, I'm only 5'5", which I think is a decent height, but I like tall men. I just prefer a tall man.
You're welcome.
Probably because I wear heels most of the time, and my heels are 4 to 5 inches on average. So any given day, I can be 5'9", 5'10". And I want to look up, not eye to eye or down at somebody, at a male partner.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a point at which I felt like everybody from Munchkin Land was trying to talk.
Just all the short fellas.
Yeah. And, I'm being funny, obviously, saying
Hey,
Munchkin
Red.
Land,
Hey, Red. Come here. Let me talk to you. Red.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? No. Okay, no, but honestly, and I just felt like everything I didn't want, and there's nothing wrong with shorter statured men. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Just not my preference. As a whole, not my preference. But anyway,
Yeah.
and I felt like everything that I didn't want was coming my way. Just like, why do all the titty dusters just keep yeah.
Titty duster?
Yes, that's
Hold
good.
on. Can we
Yeah.
touch on that?
We
What is
can.
that titty duster? Is that short?
Sure, yeah, that's a short. Yes,
I'm
yes.
hey, Mom, we're adding titty duster to the lexicon.
You do not have my permission to use titty duster. Okay, I'll let you know when you do.
The company's appropriating it. We're taking it.
But so I was mid conversation via email with a friend, and I found that I'm just complaining and rattling off all the things I don't like. Like, men like this, men like that, men like, and it was mid sentence that I stopped and I looked at the screen. And I was like, you fool, that is why they keep coming, because you keep focusing on what it is that you do not want.
Yeah.
And by focusing on what it is that you do not want, you are giving your attention to what you don't want.
Yeah.
And because you're giving your attention to what you don't want, you are calling it to you. You're bringing it
The
forth.
universe just hears short guys.
Yeah, short guys. So it's like, here you go, there they are. Not in any short supply. I mean, they
Right.
just coming out the woodwork. And so I had to, I think I stopped and said, okay, and I'm typing this, I just realized that I'm spending too much energy, focusing on what I don't want. So from this point forward, I am not going to keep having these conversations, with you about that. And I have to focus on what it is that I do want.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this a little bit before, and this is something that I will keep talking about because it's really sort of, I think, a tenet or a foundation of my life at this point, and that is law of attraction and law of vibration. And so what you put out is what you're going to get back.
Yeah.
Good, bad, indifferent. And it takes, we're programmed a certain way. We're all programmed particular ways, depending on how you were raised or where you come from. But, we're not really programmed to think about the things that we can't see, touch, taste, feel, right? And this is obviously one of those things. We don't see vibrations. Law of attraction is one of those, where does that come from? But focusing on what it is that I want, and not what I don't want, but what I want to come to me, and making sure that I'm staying above board and on a positive level and a positive vibration, and even speaking positively. Now we sit here, we laugh and we joke. And, to some degree, you have to be careful with that. But you also want to be able to have fun and not be a stick in the mud, obviously.
Of course not.
But just recognizing to draw to me what it is that I do want.
Yeah.
And knowing that invariably, because I want it, and if I believe it, then it's coming. It's going to happen. Now, I can't tell you the date. I have absolutely no idea. But what I do know is that the sooner I actually, or anyone actually, gets in line with what it is that they're truly looking for, then that thing manifests itself to you. You can say that you want something all day. You want a committed relationship, you want this, you want that. But if you really are vibrationally not in tune or in line with that, you're not going to realize it. It's always just going to be something that you want.
Yeah.
It's there for you. It's absolutely there for you, because the universe is more than happy to give it to you. But if you are not ready for it, then it can't meet you, because you're at different levels.
Well, see, I've had to fine tune my wants over the last couple of years, because I'm a very sexual person, like pretty much a pervert, but whatever. Like, but I had to learn to separate my fetishes from the person I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I always say, I have mommy issues, so I like mean women in the bedroom. I don't want no angry broad yelling at me all day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or
Okay.
Or even I like women with pretty feet, right? But it seems kind of a superficial disqualifier You know, like she's a good person. She got hammer time on her toes, but she's got everything else I need. I'm like, nope, I can't do nothing with that.
If you can't though.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to. Cause I'm getting older, and sex isn't as I mean, it's still important, but I want a little more intimacy with my sex now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to just suck some toes and leave. I want you to rub my back and
stay a little while.
Stay a little while. You don't watch no TV, right?
You ain't got to go right now.
You feel like making my bed, baby? Like.
Yeah, different things do become more important as we get older.
But I think a lot of people, they focus on their fetishes more. You know what I'm saying? Like in the black community, the fat ass trumps everything. Like she don't got to have nothing else going for herself but the ass. It's like, man, you tell your friends, nigga, you see this ass? And it's like, well.
So she can look like a pinky toe about the face
as
long as she has a fat ass? Is that what you're saying?
It can be, yeah. Don't let her be cute, too, because she don't have no reason to be smarter than that. No, I'm joking, ladies. But it's some dumb women who are just getting by off their looks, and then, when the looks ain't there, it's like, I didn't develop myself. I didn't get any other skills for this or whatever. But, I mean, I'm going off on a tangent on that side.
No, I mean, that's good talking, though.
But it's we got to learn how to separate the fetish from the person. You know, it's okay to have your preferences, and I'm saying fetishes because it's sexual and that's what guys do, but
right, that's where you
like,
are.
is it a solid person in there? You know what I mean? With that, you should be able to find a solid person who's into the nasty shit you into. You know,
and at least 6 feet tall.
Yeah, right. At
least
if your back ain't hurting when you hugging me, nigga, I don't want to. I don't want it.
I know that sounded so horrible, but hey, it is what it is. We all like what we like.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I guess within reason, as long as you don't, like you said, just disqualifying people because of like they check all the other boxes and there's one little thing. So can you fine tune and tweak, what's a deal breaker for you versus what you can put up with for the greater.
And these are for relationships. I'm saying specifically, like, I don't really necessarily need a full-time woman. I'm cool hiring temps. You know what I mean?
Really? So a rotation.
Yeah, it's in the next one. Not even a rotation. I will never see you again. Next.
Oh, no. But I thought we were too old for that.
A man's got to eat.
Oh, God. Ooh, here we go.
Oh, man. I need some loving right now. I can't wait on.
Oh, but see, those are the things that we should be able to sort of, those are for the younger set.
Yeah.
As we get older, you should look to sort of settle down a little bit more than, just a rotation.
Well, you know what makes me think about settling down?
What?
Like, I party a lot. I was drinking. And I'm like, well, if my left side quit working, who would really care? Or if
right.
If I had to go get dialysis, who would go? Who I don't have to pay to be in my life.
Who's going to change your
And it's kind of selfish, I admit it.
It's not selfish,
but
that's real life.
Yeah, I'm looking for a real partner.
You're
who
looking
cares?
for a home health aide.
Yeah. I'm going to give me a nurse.
That's what
hopefully a head nurse.
Oh gosh, he's here all week, folks. Here all week. No, but honestly, like, as we get older, that's stuff to consider.
Yeah.
Even in terms of, are you going to date somebody older? Because if they're considerably older, they're going to probably hit those.
You're going to be the nurse. You're going to end up being their nurse.
And are you ready for that?
Tough.
That's something I think about now, too.
That's crazy because everybody's talking about getting married, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't check out the vows. They be to have and to hold, for better or worse, sickness and health, richer and poorer. It's like, I don't need you here really for health. I need you if something go bad on the sickness. Like, I ain't taking care of no sick nigga. Well, that's what we getting married for. I need you for poorer. Poorer? You can't even say that to a woman now. Poorer? Nigga.
But really, is marriage important to you at this point, or just a committed relationship?
The committed relationship. Like, I've been married, and it really was coming from a place of what I thought I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I met this girl, first comes love, then comes marriage, and this is what we got taught. Yeah, right.
It's true. Yeah.
But I didn't believe it in my heart. I was just following suit, Okay. So,
Did you like her at least a little?
Oh, man, loved her.
Oh, okay, you really did.
All we did was fight and fuck, man. Like, I was like, man, it's passion. I think we can make it through anything, right? This got to work out. Life is about. Right, it's got to work out.
Like, no. Because you get tired of doing both.
Yeah.
Both of them will wear you out real quick.
In the beginning, I'm like,
both of them.
Like, quit putting them red flags around. We got this. Now, shit, let's go. Yeah, they both, man. Hey, That's something I'm noticing about me too, man. Like, the idea of nympho girl sounds great in theory, right? But you get you a nympho girl, you be like, God, man, she get on her period, I be like, oh, thank God, I'm so tired, man. Just I need a week off, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to be careful how you say no, because you don't want to cancel it off for yourself. You know what I mean?
Exactly, right.
Like, oh, this nigga don't want no pussy. Right. You be like, oh my God.
I'm just saying right now. I'm tired right now. So do you prefer women your age, younger, older? It doesn't matter.
It depends.
Blind, crippled, and crazy. I don't know.
It depends. I can't go no lower than 10 years on the youth side.
Okay.
And that's just my own code. Like any girl that's closer to my daughter's age than mine.
Yeah.
Unless they have to be exceptional. You know, I'm not saying it can't happen, but a regular 25-year-old ain't gonna do it for me. You know.
Yeah, getting older like that is crazy because, for example, like athletes. You know, look at some of the Browns players or some of the, baseball players, basketball players. And then I say, this dude is younger than my oldest son. Like, and then you just feel nasty.
Right,
like,
you old pervert.
Yeah, like you can't. Yeah, it's kind of weird being in that space where it's like, no, and some people don't have a problem with it. Like, well, it's not your son, so what difference does it make?
But with the whole mommy issues thing, like I still do love older women. It's like the ceiling is getting lower, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want no 75-year-old, but you know what I mean? An older matriarchal figure, and not even to take care of, not even like I need a mom to take care of me, but just like the nurturing and I don't know, like this sounds creepy enough saying it out loud, but come on, baby, come on with me. No.
And we have counseling at its finest.
Yes,
Go on down.
yes, but
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, but the older women was always, and I don't know if it's the same thing. Like I was thinking if Jada Pinkett was doing what R. Kelly did, if she had like a house full of little boys.
Mm-hmm. She just had that one, but
yeah, she had right. I don't think nobody would have said nothing. I think it'd have been like right. She knew better. That's her fault.
Yeah, for a woman under the auspices of being a caretaker and trying to get him on the right track. Yeah, she probably could have. Yeah, she could have not gone to the extent that Aura has gone to, but yeah, they would. Yeah, it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah,
it would be a little bit different.
Then you done exposed will. Like you don't mess with the little mentally health kid that can't keep his mouth shut. You gotta vet these niggas. If you're gonna be doing some dirt now, look.
My gosh. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate.
It was a bad decision. Just a bad decision.
Poor little August.
Ain't seen him since.
You sure haven't. I'm sorry, August.
But I digress.
Oh, we both did for me. It's okay. It's all right. But yeah, so relationships and keeping things at a point where they're beneficial for you. Mm-hmm. Well, beneficial for both parties, but ultimately, you're the one you have to look out for. Yeah. And you're the one who should have your best interest at ultimate heart. Mm-hmm. But really just being positive about things, which can be hard to do because we live in a world that's just full of negativity and full of, it's so much easier to talk trash about things and be negative about things than it is to stay upbeat and positive because we often believe what it is that we see. And a lot of times what we're seeing right now is, it's not that great all the way around. For really anybody, particularly in this age of, this pandemic that we're in.
I think it speaks to your point too. Like it's easier to complain about, these people ain't this and I can't find, instead of doing the self-work. It's like, well, maybe you ain't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Maybe you ain't ready to receive that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But that's hard to admit to yourself because none of us wants to admit that we fall short anywhere.
Right.
But if we don't look at it as falling short, just look at it as you're building yourself up and up and up and just aiming to be the most complete and best person that you can possibly be.
Yeah.
But I think we do have to be more careful with other people's feelings.
Yeah. Responsible.
Yeah, exactly. More responsible. We really do. Because we leave a whole trail of wounded folk out there.
Oh my gosh.
And and that wounded person is going to end up with somebody else who you done just ruined him for the next woman, or
right.
He's ruined her, and it's just. And how do you fix a grown person who doesn't really think there's anything wrong?
Throw the whole nigga away.
The whole. But people aren't disposable and they shouldn't be. And so we have a responsibility to ourselves and and other folk just to be the best people that we can be. And it's hard to feel like you're sounding all Pollyanna and all, oh, everything's just, love and roses and it's just so happy. And no, it's not that it's that, but I know I want good stuff. So I need to stay at a point where I'm believing that good things can happen and that I can bring good things to me. So that's my aim. That's the goal with relationships and anything else. Just trying to keep that thing positive and look for what I want, even if I don't physically see it right now, but knowing that it's there and getting in line to receive it.
No, for
and
sure.
that's just it. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, so I think that was a good talk.
This is a great talk, man.
About relationships. I mean, we could talk forever about this thing.
Yeah.
So I hope the people enjoyed this talk about relationships.
I think it was good information. I think they got a better look to see who you are now. A little peek behind the curtain on Tacoma.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Yep. So we will be ending this broadcast today, but absolutely coming back on next Tuesday with another hot topic to discuss. And Tyrone, you will be here with me.
I will be here, baby.
Be.
I'm here till you need
better
me.
Be. All right.
What'd you say, about 7 months before you get retired of a nigga? I got 6.5.
Now I've put myself out there. This broad only got 7 months, but she get tired.
I'm keeping the calendar. You ain't gonna surprise me. I show up here, so another nigga sitting in the seat. I'm gonna be so mad.
Be like, look, I tried to tell you, Tyrone.
Who
I
is
told
this?
you. I told you in episode 2, 7 months. That's all I got. That's all I got in me.
Funny.
So, okay.
Well, let me start out. I'm Crazy T. You can see me on IG, KRAYZT9. Hit me up.
I am Tocombamaria. You can find me on Instagram at T_KNICOLE 426. This has been Tea Time with Tocombamaria. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Happiness is when you really feel good about somebody. There's nothing wrong being in love with someone. Yeah. Oh, baby, love and happiness. Love and happiness. Oh. Love and happiness. Be good to me, and I'll be good to you. We'll be together, yeah. To see each other, walk away with victory, yeah.